Kolikko teleporttaa lasiin voimallani. Kokeillaan.
Oh, wow. It's almost like I didn't see you dropping the coin in your sleeve. Alright, welcome back to Magic Isn't Real, the place where I try to replicate the claims of the supernatural with my very natural skill. Since the very beginning of this channel, people have been begging me to please debunk a guy who calls himself Ogo Logo, or at least this is how I think it's pronounced. If it's not, I apologize. Anyway, so for the millionth time, I do not debunk. I replicate the claims of the supernatural with my natural skills in order to question the validity of those demonstrations. So I am asking questions, putting a little bit of doubt into the existence of this ability. How many times am I gonna have to say this? I guess at this point for every single video. I should just make a disclaimer every time one of my videos starts. I've been not wanting to talk about this guy for the longest time for like a bunch of different reasons. Reason number one, I kind of talked about him already in one of my first video about teleportation. This guy right here, who's gonna teach you how to teleport objects for free. So let's take a look. Wow. This one, if you stop it at the right time, you will see that he not only just teleported an object, he cloned it apparently. This is bad. This is really, like, learn some showmanship. Like, this is offensive to magicians and filmmakers at the same time. The second thing is that, as far as I know, I don't think, like, that he's charging any money. According to this comment, which I don't know if this is legit information, but I just like to read this comment because I think it's funny. According to this comment, like, Ogo Logo claims that he learned this ability because Ernest Vider came to him in a dream. Can you imagine Ernest Vider coming to you in a dream? I watch a lot of his videos since you guys have been asking about him for the longest time. So I did. It's not that I ignore you guys. I do listen. I honestly thought that he's not the real deal and he knows it. I honestly thought that he's just playing a character. He's just having fun. Watching his thing, I legitimately think like he's obviously doing magic tricks. I mean, let's watch the coin teleportation one more time. It's quite obvious that he's dropping the coin in his sleeve. That's called sleeving. Magicians do it all the time. You know what? Let's watch another coin teleportation. You know, that would have been a little bit more impressive if the coin was somehow marked in a unique way. Like if you're doing a trick like that, like for people live, it would be super cool if someone can sign the coin so that coin is incredibly unique. So when it goes into your sleeve, obviously going into your sleeve, and then it reappears like behind someone's back, but it has the same signature. Now that's impressive. Now that's really mind-blowing. Now I'm not saying that's gonna prove anything because by me saying this, I'm telling you the magicians have done it with a signed coin. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's go back to the first video, the video that we watched in the very beginning, and why don't you do this without wearing any sleeve, all right? And why don't you do it with the glass position upside down? Yeah, why do you gotta cover it with a piece of paper that could be easily gimmicked? I want you to do this trick. I want you to do this the same. Okay, let's not call it. I want you to do this demonstration, you know, without any sleeve and with the glass position upside down. You know what? I'll do it. All right, let's try this coin teleportation. I have no sleeve. I have a glass upside down on the table. Let's give this a go. All right, we have a coin there. I'm gonna focus. Bam, bam, okay? I honestly didn't think this was going to work. Well, that's amazing. You better subscribe for this stuff. Now that's a cool trick, is it? I'll tell you what, do you want to know how I did it? Do you want me to tell you how I did the trick? Oh, you're gonna have to join my Patreon. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. For those of you who follow me, you guys know that I had massive damage after a storm in my house, and the constructions is still happening. It's still going on, and I am forced to film. I have to basically find location where I can film, and I have to do it really quickly because sometimes I'm on a time crunch. I need to push my Patreon. I need a little bit of support. So if you want to know how I did that trick, you're gonna have to join my Patreon. I'm sorry, that's the way it goes. But on the other hand, if you're new to this channel and you're still uncertain of what this is, but you're like, hey, I'm intrigued. What is this Magic Isn't Real all about? Like, does he always do these incredible tricks? Like, what's the story? Well, then I will say subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. That's it. Subscribe to the channel just for today. It's actually free. Do it. Do it right now. Subscribe, hit the bell, and watch all my videos. Anyway, going back to Ogo Logo, there's also another reason why I didn't want to talk about this guy. And the reason is not so much him, it's more you. Listen, every time I do one of these videos, right, I always try to give whoever I'm talking about, whoever I'm questioning, I always try to give the benefit of the doubt, with some exception. Like, I really cannot give the benefit of the doubt to the fact that I saw him. You can see him dropping the coin in his sleeve. Guys, it's obvious. That's obviously a magic sleight of hand move. Like, you can see it do it in the video. But most importantly, like, if you think that Ogo Logo is the real deal, you probably haven't seen this video. I'm sorry. This video should have been like, hey, can you please talk about Ogo Logo? Alright, here it is. End of the video. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. If you think that he's actually levitating in this video, if you think that this is a good demonstration of levitation, and if you're asking me like it's... How am I supposed to give the benefit of the doubt to this? This is even worse than my attempt of like levitation. I don't understand why you're so concerned about this guy. In this case, I can confidently say that he's not the real deal. I can confidently say that he's just a kid playing around. And I really didn't want to make this video. But then something kind of changed. I left a few comments on his channel. Some of them a bit, you know, quote unquote toxic hater. Some of them a bit more calm, like asking some questions, like, can you do it, for example, without your sleeve and with the glass upside down? And some of them, you know, okay, let's break it down. He posted this video claiming that it's through teleportation. Let's watch it.
Teleport cafe cook for supernatural powers. Noin.
Now, honestly, when I saw that video claiming to be real teleportation, my only comment was just laughter. To which he responded, you're just jealous. To which I responded, of what, your editing skills? To which he told me that this is a real ability that he has and a lot of people don't believe it, and like, I'm a good example of someone who doesn't believe. So at this point I was like, okay, fine, let's talk about you for a second. Listen, for the sake of making this video even more entertaining and for the sake of me demonstrating to you that I'm convinced this guy is not the real deal, and it's rare that I say this on this channel. You know me. You know that I always give the benefit of the doubt. But let's watch another telekinesis demonstration done by, not even by him, by one of his friend, apprentice, acquaintance. I don't know who this guy is. But let's watch this video really quick. Let's watch this demonstration. So, I'm asking you one more time. Is this convincing? Is this good enough for you? Does that look... I don't know. Let's talk about the weird jump cut right at the end of the video. Let's not even mention that the video starts like this and doesn't even end, which is highly suspicious. Let's not mention that all these videos have been posted like recently and the quality is like atrocious. Let's talk about invisible strings. A lot of magicians, we use invisible strings. There are all sorts of different kind. They're like elastic one. They're like a little Kevlar one that are a bit more strong but you can see them a little bit easier. Anyway, most of it's about knowing your angles and it's about knowing your lighting. I found it very interesting that throughout this video, there is one jump cut at some point, and I was trying to figure out why would you zoom in and jump the camera right at this moment? Why not finish the motion? This is just an hypothesis, so you don't have to believe me, but trust me, for someone who has used invisible string for many years, I can tell you something. The best way to hide it, it's usually to wear something black. If you're wearing something black, it would be so much easier for you to hide the string. Like, people would not be able to see it. And like, in general, like anything or something that has a pattern will make it easier for you to like hide it. And obviously you need to control your lighting. So what I think was happening in this video, when the headphones goes out and then they go on the side and then they have to do this movement, the string was gonna be right in front of that pink hat their friend is wearing. Now, there's a high chance that you will be able to see the string in contrast with that pink hat. And this is why right before that happened, they decided to give a little jump cut so you don't see the guy with the pink hat anymore. You just see the headphone flowing. But again, this is just my opinion. So now I know what you're about to say. I know, I'm a mentalist. I have a mental list of issues that... Sorry, that was such a terrible, cheesy joke. I know what you're gonna say. Oh, but Sebastiano, you know, Hogo Logo does live streams. He does this demonstration on live streams. Which, by the way, I said many times, it doesn't matter if someone does it. Like, we a magician perform live all the time. Live stream doesn't mean anything. But let me ask you this. Does he do teleportation during his live streams? Does he make, like, headphones float around in the air? Does he levitate during live stream? Or does he do this?
I feel this energy. Yes, energy feeling. This will be like this energy field.
You know what that demonstration reminds me of? It reminds me of episode 8, season 3 of Rick and Morty. Let me explain. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that episode, but there's a scene in that episode where like Morty is trying to build like a shelf, and Rick comes in and tells him like that he would never be able to actually make a perfectly level shelf.
The bubble? I'm familiar with the bubble, Morty. I also dabble in precision, and if you think you can even approach it with your sad naked caveman eyeball and a bubble of air, you're the reason this species is a failure, and it makes me angry.
And then he uses like his like science fiction science to like build basically like a square on the floor that is perfectly level, and it's so level that like when Morty steps in, he like freaks out.
Oh my god! Oh Christ! Yeah, true level, bitch.
Okay, so now you're probably wondering, why are you talking about Rick and Morty? Why aren't you talking about Rick and Morty? I mean, isn't it like one of the best TV show around? The reason why I mentioned that scene is because it's kind of true. Like, there's always going to be, in any kind of surface that is, just in general, there's always going to be like very small imperfection, especially like when you work with like a wooden floor or like a wooden table, or like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's always going to be like little tiny small imperfection. And what I want to tell you is that, I'm sorry, but it's pretty obvious that he's trying to balance an object on one spot on the floor that it's a little bit unlevel, so that object will eventually fall. And you can see that that's what happened. Like, you can see that he tries to balance it, and then when the object starts moving, he is actually a little late. He tries to catch up with the motion and pretend that he did it with telekinesis. And the funniest thing is that when he manages to balance the object so well that the object is not moving, he blames it on the stress of the live stream, and then he immediately goes and tries to balance the object in a different way, so that maybe it would stay balanced for like 10 to 12 seconds, and then it could fall, and then he can claim that he made it fall. Why can't you do it with the cup just standing up like that? Or if you're gonna balance it, balance it. But then when you see that it's not moving, don't go and rebalance it again. At some point, he clearly and quickly realizes, well, I want to say quickly, but not really that quickly, that a certain cup that he chosen balances way too well and doesn't move. So he decided that that object was no good. And he goes and grabs another cup who was a little bit more like crooked and imperfect. And now suddenly, it kind of works with that cup. You know what? Words can do so much, but actions speak louder. So let me just flipping do it. All right, here we have a table that it's, I guess, looks like perfectly leveled. Obviously it's not. As I said before, there's a bunch of imperfection. I mean, it's just how it is. Like, maybe the floor is not perfectly level, maybe the legs are not perfectly level. And here I have a regular mug. There's nothing. I don't know why they do this as if this demonstrated there's no... Anyway, I'm not using any magician thing. I'm just trying to literally do what he was doing. So I'm gonna try to find a spot where I can probably have this mug perfectly balanced. Ooh, here it goes. And now it's just basically a waiting game. Like, it's gonna eventually fall. And I just have to pretend that it was telekinesis. So, do you understand now what it is that I'm talking about? So before we end this video, let's kind of quickly recap the whole Ogo Logo situation. And it's really easy to recap because just this. The video should have started, hey, you believe this is real. Goodbye. If this is convincing for you, I think that we don't have much to talk about. I truly don't. I would love to know if this is really convincing, or maybe you wanted me to talk about, you needed the extra convincer that this is not a thing. But like, if this truly convinced you, then my question for you is, why do you even care what it is that I say? Just believe what you want to believe. If that makes you happy, please go. Please go somewhere else, not on my channel. Like, if you believe this is real, if you believe you can achieve it, if that's what you want to do with your life, go. There's nothing I can do for you. There's no way you're going to convince me that this is real. So we got nothing else to talk about. This last thing goes directly to Ogo Logo, which is, listen, kid. I'm saying kid because I have a feeling that I might be much older than you. Not that it means anything. I don't believe in this, like, oh, you gotta respect your elders, you gotta listen to, like, I never believed that. And so I just don't take this as like, oh my god, listen to the adult in the room. I'm not doing that. I want to say this: you're playing, and I know it. And that's fine. It's your YouTube channel. It's your thing. I think I saw a video that you posted a while ago where you were actually doing magic trick. I couldn't find it. So that makes me think that maybe you have removed it. And I'm like, it's fine. If you want to play this character of like, what I'm doing is real, it's fine. It's all good. Just keep on doing it. I'm not even going to ask you to put a disclaimer. Like, keep on doing it. All I'm going to ask you is that please don't start charging money for this, pretending you have the real deal. And don't push it too much. Don't go too far. Don't cross a line. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, if you're still here, thank you so much. Please, once again, consider subscribing. If you want to learn how I did the trick, the coin trick, not the mug trick. Anybody can do the mug trick. Just find a surface that is not level, balance an object, you will see it. If you want to learn the coin trick, and if you want to learn other tricks that I do on this channel or that I do when I perform live, really consider going to my Patreon and joining it. Even if you don't have to stay, even if you just join for like a month. Watch what you want to watch, learn what you want to learn. And if you're truly still here, I really appreciate it, and I want you to prove it to me in the comment section below by commenting whiskey. Yes, I've been drinking a lot this past days. This not having a studio in a house is very stressing me out, and I could end this video on a higher note, but I'm gonna end it like this. Bye.